Yo, what's going on, guys? So as I'm uploading one Titanfall 2 video, I look at my Twitter and everybody's freaking out. Iniquity, did you check out everything? Apparently, Respawn just released some patch notes that are coming out with tomorrow's Glitch in the Frontier update. So the hype train is on. I don't know what time this update is actually going to roll out. The last time it was at like 4 or 5 p.m., maybe sooner than that. It might have been a different update that came out like 4 p.m. But regardless, the update should be available for download in the afternoon tomorrow, at least Eastern time. I don't know what everybody's time zone is going to be. So let's look at these patch notes. I'll read over every single one and give you my thoughts, and let's just get hyped, boys. I'm ready for this new update. Glitch looks like a really fun map, so let's see what we got here. New map, Glitch, new live fire map, deck. So I didn't really do a normal update video when the trailer last week showed up, because I did the parody trailer thing. So I didn't give you my thoughts on it, but deck looks amazing. It looks like a fun live fire map, and we didn't get to see too much of the map. At least I don't think we did, because it is going to be a small map. So maybe they did show us everything and it just didn't feel like it. But it looks like there's a lot of different corridors you can take. It looks very smooth. There's a lot of walls you can run on. It looks like it's going to be the exact opposite of Meadow, and I'm definitely a fan of that. I love stacks so much, and I'm hoping for something that feels more like that, but it looks like deck is going to be even more different. Like, it has different layers to it, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play out. So next up is new faction, Marvin. We've already known about this, and some of us were a little upset because we wanted to have Spyglass as a faction leader, but Marvin is obviously another fine replacement. It's gonna, I have a feeling like 98% of the community is going to be running with the Marvin faction tomorrow. And next is new execution. Get to the point. Pulse Blade unlocks after getting 10 pilot kills with the Pulse Blade. If you already achieve the 10 kills, it will unlock retroactively. So this new execution looks fantastic. You jump on top of the pilot, you have your legs basically like holding on to him, and then you just slam your Pulse Blade into their head. It is brutal, dude. Like, it is disgusting, and I can't wait to use it. I don't think I have any kills with my Pulse Blade. If I do, it's probably like 1 or 2 random ones, but I never actually use the Pulse Blade, so I'm gonna have to start using that tonight. I don't know what platform I'm gonna be playing on. Lately I've been playing on PC, but I guess I'm gonna have to hop on Xbox and just use the Pulse Blade for hours. So the next bullet point we have in these patch notes, Glitch 24/7. Get a feel for the new map by playing a variety of modes on just the Glitch map. This was kind of assumed, like this happened with Angel City and Colony, where we were able to play for 24/7. So I'm glad they're doing it with Glitch. However, I don't know how much I'm actually going to play on the new map, even though I'm very excited for it, because we're getting a bunch of new game modes, even with Titans. So there's a lot to cover with this new update, and I don't think I'm going to be in the playlist for that long. At least for the first few hours, I'll be playing nothing but Glitch, but after a while, I'm going to need to try out some new stuff. Next up is Marked for Death, 6v6. One member of each team is marked as targets, and both teams must defend their target while trying to kill the other team's target. That sentence just feels like it's all over the place. But once one of the marked players are killed, the surviving marked team is rewarded a point. After a few seconds, new marks are chosen. First team to 10 kills wins. Reading that out loud felt very weird. So basically, if you don't understand what the hell I just said, this is a game mode from Titanfall 1. It's basically protect the VIP. One of your teammates is a VIP, the other team has a VIP, and you have to either protect yours or kill the other one for a point. It's a lot of fun. It's very intense. I noticed a strategy that people like to use in the first game was they waited till they were marked for death, and then they brought out their Titan so they have some extra defense. I don't know if that meta is going to remain the same, but the game type is a lot of fun, and I look forward to playing it on brand new maps, so it doesn't feel like because I've already played it on Colony, I've already played it on Angel City. I don't want to feel like I'm playing the first game again. I hope that they add that game type within the Glitch 24/7 playlist so I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone, if you know what I mean. Marks for Death is going to be a lot of fun. Next up is something we had no idea about. This was not in the trailer. This was never mentioned on Reddit or anything. This was never leaked. At least I don't think it was leaked. If it was, I missed out on it. I'm brand new to this. This is Titan Brawl. Think of this as team deathmatch with just Titans. 5v5 mode with Titans only, no ejecting and respawning. Each kill counts for 1 point, and the first team to 30 points wins. Titan lovers, this is going to be a lot of fun. It's basically team deathmatch with Titans. Like, what else could we ask for? I don't know if they're only going to have specific maps for it, like just the big maps or every single map. I have no idea, but it looks like it could be a lot of fun. There's no ejecting, so we're not going to have anyone cheesing with archer rockets, even though those are getting nerfed as well. But nobody could hit you with their anti-Titan weapons or arc grenades. It's just you and your Titan. If you die, you respawn and you're back on your Titan again. It's just non-stop Titan fights. This could be a lot of fun, and it's something that the people have been asking for since Titanfall 1, at least from what I can remember. So props to Respawn for listening to their community and having some fun with it. Now, this is a featured game mode, so I don't know if this is going to be available tomorrow. I have a feeling Marked for Death is going to be the featured game mode that we're going to see for a few days, and maybe at the end of this week or something they'll bring out Titan Brawl, and also this new game type, Iron Last Titan Standing. It's the Last Titan Standing you know and love with a few new rules, 5v5 with no ejecting and no batteries. That should be interesting, and I'm definitely going to play it, but I'm definitely more excited for Titan Brawl. That seems like it's more action-packed and intense, even though LTS is a lot of fun. It's just not my favorite game type. Titan Brawl is definitely where I'm going to spend most of my time. But like I said, these are featured game modes, so at first I think Mark for Death is probably going to replace CTF Nitro, and we'll have that for a week or maybe less, and then they'll bring out Titan Brawl, and then probably Iron Last Titan Standing, and then they'll just restart the cycle, I guess. I don't really know if they have any more ideas for featured game modes, but I love that Respawn is throwing some creativity in this. Like, they're just mixing things up for us, and it's not a brand new game, but when they give us a brand new game type with like some crazy modifiers, I absolutely love that. It just makes things refreshing. It's the game that we know so well, but then they throw in some variables in there to mix things up, and you never know, they might create some game type that everybody is just in love with from the very beginning, and we ask for it, and they make it a permanent staple or a permanent game mode. Right now, a lot of people are enjoying CTF Nitro, and I am as well, so I hope they keep that as a permanent game type, but we'll never know. That they might just switch it up and then bring it back in the future to see if people still like it as much as they did. So next up, this is called New Features, Main Menu Update. We dress things up a bit with new background videos, updates, and titles with rad stuff we think you should check out. I have a feeling that's going to be like the community center. They might put some of our videos up there or some guides from like Frothy Omen or something. I think that'll be really cool. Increase pilot gen to 100. We have spoken about this before. A lot of content creators have gone over this. Some are against it, some are all for it. I have no issues with gen going up to 100. To be honest, I don't play this game to level up, but it's always cool to have there in the background just so you can be like, oh yeah, I'm Gen 50, no big deal, you know, I'm pretty good at this game. So I mean, I'll definitely get to Gen 100, I just don't know what platform it's going to be on, because you guys know, I play on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. And recently, PC has been like my main platform, even though Xbox was before, so I don't know which which platform I'm gonna get to Gen 100 first on, but it's absolutely gonna happen. It's gonna happen at least once. It's definitely not happening 3 times though. But either way, I'm looking forward to it. And what's next? Added live fire mode to private match options. This is not something for everybody, but this is definitely gonna please the competitive community who love playing custom or private games. That means now we get to see some live fire tournaments, which should be amazing. And that'll help out Dude, I think, with his 1v1 series. So instead of playing on these big-ass maps that sometimes takes forever to find your enemy, like there are some games he plays where they only have like 5 kills in the 10-minute match, which is just ridiculous. So I think Dude would definitely appreciate having these smaller maps to do some 1v1s on. But regardless, it's definitely a change for the competitive community, so hopefully they're happy with that. Next up, you can now choose between regular, prime, or random for executions for Titans if you own the Prime Titan. I probably won't do this, except for Scorch. I actually think Scorch's regular design is better than Scorch Prime, but I think Scorch Prime's execution is like my #1 favorite in this game. I think it's amazing. I feel powerful as hell when I use Scorch Prime's execution, but I'm just not a big fan of the Prime design, so I like that we'll be able to change that up. It's more like a quality of life change, and I think we could actually do it some more. Like, I tweeted Respawn about a month ago, and they responded saying it was a good idea, that we should have separate sensitivity controls for pilots and Titans. That would be a beautiful change. Dinosaur D123 tweeted them recently saying that we should have an option to have mantling off, or an auto mantle off, so it needs to be like a manual thing, kind of like what they did with rodeoing, that you have to actually hold the button if you want to mantle or climb onto a windowsill or something like that. I think that'll be a good quality of life change as well, but we're still in the early stages of this game. Respawn listens to their community, so we might actually see these things in the future. Let's see what's next. Remove Sunflare from maps Colony, Exoplanet, and Forward Base Kodai. Praise the Lord. I don't know if this is a big deal to you guys, but it absolutely is a big deal to me. I don't know if it's like something with my monitor, but when I play on those maps, I cannot see a thing on certain sides of the map. As soon as you look up at that sun, it just blocks off everything. I always felt like I was overreacting until some people actually agreed with me. You guys play Rainbow Six Siege, you know that the lighting issues they have in that game where you're in the building and you look outside a window and it just feels like Christ is showing himself to you. Just, that's what it feels like on those maps for me, at least for me. So I'm glad that they're taking away the sun flare. Hopefully it's a drastic change. Now this one is interesting. Titan Melee. Reduced area of effect for all Titans except Ronin. This one I have some questions about. I don't know if affects just the range. Like, do other Titans just have to be closer for their melees to register? Or does it also have to do with horizontal reach? Like, do Titans have to be much more precise with their melees and it actually has to, like, you know, legit connect with the other Titan's face for the melee to register? Or is it just a range thing? I don't really know, so I'm interested in testing that out. I'm sure Dino will do some testing and have some answers for us within a few days. And the next bullet point is Ronin. Fix the bug with sword block not always blocking the intended amount of incoming damage. I don't know how many things this is actually fixing, but I know one for sure. I know that when you're Northstar and you have a fully charged shot with your plasma railgun, it would completely ignore Ronin's sword block. So I know for sure that that's going to fix that issue. And Respawn actually mentioned that they were making this change weeks ago. And Northstar mains across the world are angry about it because they feel like it was the one up that they had against Ronin. And now they feel like they're at this complete disadvantage. And I don't exactly agree with that. I think they still have a nice advantage. At least a good Northstar user can still counter a Ronin. And I don't know, it was always kind of annoying as a Ronin main to run up against a Northstar, and basically I had to just say, okay, all I need to do is either take this fully charged shot or just take cover because I couldn't block it. So now that'll change up some of my fights against Northstars. I know some people are angry about it, but I think it's a good change, to be honest. Obviously there's some bias there because I play Ronin all the time, but I think it's a good change. I think it was kind of ridiculous that Northstar could do so much damage to Ronin regardless of your defense. And the next Titan change we see is Ion. Small reduction in laser shots cone angle. Ion has been a hot topic for the past few months or weeks at least, where people are saying that Ion is the new tone, meaning that Ion is just overpowered. And honestly, playing with the PC guys recently, especially like the really competitive guys who are just have amazing aim, Ion can be ridiculous in the right hands. I don't think Ion is overpowered overall because not everybody can just pick up Ion and do really well. But the players that have fantastic aim just wreck everybody with that laser shot, and I think this is a good change. Small reduction in laser shots cone angle. So basically, I think at like close to medium range, it's not going to make a big difference, but at long range, it's going to be harder to land those like, you know, those long range shots against pilots that are moving fast, just because it has a smaller hitbox. Next up, we have some pilot balance. Arc grenades. I mentioned this in, was it yesterday's video, the day before? Arc grenades now only have one charge. Arc grenades recharge faster. So they're still going to work the same way they always did. They're still going to be powerful, but now they'll just be less spam because we only have one of them to throw. Now the recharge rate is faster, obviously, but I think it's a good change because every now and then if you were in a Titan and you're going up against like 2 or 3 pilots that knew what they were doing and they all had arc grenades, it was just impossible to do anything with your Titan. But to be honest, the way I use arc grenades, I use them more against pilots, so I don't think it's going to make a big difference for me. Like this is not really a nerf to me. I think it's a necessary change, but I'm probably still going to use arc grenades. Next up is Hollow Pilot. Hollow Pilots can now walk through amped wall. That doesn't make a difference to me whatsoever. And Hollow Pilots can now crouch walk. That is interesting. So I always knew that I could run and slide and then use my Hollow Pilot, and the Hollow Pilot would just continue sliding for like 3 miles, which is always pretty funny. But now they can crouch walk, so I'll see if I can try and bamboozle people with the crouch walk method. I don't know if it's gonna work though. Next up, we have the Mastiff. I'm liking this change. Make crosshair smaller, so if you have a beat on an enemy, you're more likely to deal high damage. Projectile width will increase quicker to improve consistency of damage in close quarters. It is always nice to see a Mastiff buff because I've been using this weapon like crazy lately, so I feel like I have a one-up on the competition. And we also have an Eva nerf. Now needs to be closer to deal max damage, slightly increased spread to compensate. This is just a straight up damage nerf. Like, you have to be much closer for the Eva spam to actually kill somebody. I feel like when I used the Eva, I always paired it with phase shift anyway, so for the most part I was always close range, but there were definitely moments where I was really far from a pilot, but I still got that 2-shot kill on them and I just felt bad about it. So this gun used to be limited in Titanfall 1 competitive games, and I'm surprised it's not limited now, but regardless, I honestly think it needed a nerf, so I'm glad to see it. Next up is the Devotion. Reduce the near and very far damage of the amp Devotion. I'm glad to see a nerf, but honestly I think just the base Devotion needs another nerf because it still feels like a ridiculous weapon to use in our hands, at least. Charge Rifle, small increase to its base damage. This is fantastic. After they nerfed the Charge Hack mod in the last update, nobody used a Charge Rifle anymore, so now that they increased the damage a little bit, we'll still definitely see some people using it. Next up, the Archer. Reduced missile tracking speed. It will still continue to track targets, but not to the extreme amount it has been since the last patch. Hallelujah! Northstars, you can come out again, you can use your favorite Titan and not feel afraid to do so. The Archer buff last patch was just stupid. It became the best anti-Titan weapon gun in the game, and it was just way too strong. So I'm glad that they reduced the speed a little bit. We'll see. We'll have to test how it actually performs in a game now, but it's nice to see that change. And next up, crosshairs. Crosshair dots no longer turn off when firing all assault rifles and SMGs. Fixed issue with the R101 where the reticle would disappear while cloaked. This is a fantastic change. I made a video back in the day saying that I was testing out a new method where I drew a dot on my screen with a dry erase marker because my dot was always disappearing while firing, and then I made that PC video the other day where I edited the files and the dot was no longer disappearing, and everybody's like, oh my god, Iniquity, you're a cheater because now you have that advantage over people who didn't do that. So now it's no longer an issue. We all have that dot when firing our R201, 101, Car SMG, and R97. If I'm missing something, I apologize, but this is a nice change, Respawn. I appreciate you doing this, and I look forward to not having to use these extra programs to keep a dot on my screen. It was getting a bit ridiculous. And that is pretty much it. I didn't mention every single thing, but this video has gone on long enough. There are certain things that I didn't mention. I decided to just mention the things that I thought was most important. There's a lot of bug fixes and just various things about the game that they added or fixed. So if you want to see every single little thing, I'll leave the link in the description for the full patch notes. But thank you guys for listening. Let's get hyped about Glitching the Frontier. I'm so excited to play these new maps, new game types, and we can test out these new balance changes. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure to drop a like for me. Let's get hyped. Peace.